Hello. Hi. It's been a while. Sorry about that. Hello. It is me, Melody. I am here. Um, Welcome to the stream. Sorry for being gone last weekend. Uh, I made a decision that, like, until my energy and motivation levels are back to where they should be, I was just going to stream once a week. So I could just use Saturday to, like, you know, start feeling like a human again after the working week. And then I slept like shit on Sunday and didn't feel like streaming. So I didn't. I also slept like shit today. However, today I'm forcing myself to stream because I want to build Lego. Yippee. Behold. Game Boy. This is one of the Lego sets I got for my birthday this year. Got myself for my birthday. No one's buying it for me. I did receive some money from my parents that was used to buy this. But also I was going to buy it anyway, so you know. Game Boy. I've been looking at this one for like quite a while. And I am excited to finally build it. I noticed something on the box this morning. I don't have room to put it upright, so you'll just have to read it sideways. It says no light, sound, and digital play functions. Part of me was like, well, that's silly. Of course there aren't. It's Lego. It's a Lego model. It's not going to be able to play anything. But then I remembered, like, Lego has been doing a lot of that lately, and kind of wish they wouldn't. Right, the other thing, this doesn't have any of the Lego Mario or Lego Zelda branding, but it technically counts under the Lego Mario / Lego Zelda brand, and as a result, I was able to get a gift with purchase set for buying this. I wasn't sure if I should even... if I should even save it for stream, or whether I should just put it together, because it's a fucking poly bag that has barely any pieces, but I figured I might as well. Behold, I have a Tom Nook minifigure now. So we'll probably put that together at the end. This isn't the only set I got for my birthday. There was another one, but we're gonna save that for another stream. And I also got like a little birthday cake set that Lego sent me a code for. Don't know when we'll end up building that, but that's also a thing. Anyway, I think that's everything. I got the updates about me only streaming once a week for the time being. Talked about this. I think that's all, yeah. So let's stop this music and let's put on some good old Game Boy tunes. I found a compilation that seemed like it didn't have ads. It didn't have ads when I started it up, at least. There might still be ads in the middle that I'll have to deal with then. But Game Boy. Let's go. Hold on, I need to turn it down, volume down in my ears. It's a bit loud there. Let's get to building. On the back, you can see we've got... It is a shame that this set came out before they got the partnership with Pokemon, because Pokemon would have been the perfect thing for this set. Instead, we got Super Mario Land and... is that Link's Awakening? Link's Awakening, yeah. Anyway. Fun fact. I've definitely said this before, but people who only watch my Lego stuff might not be aware. Super Mario Land is the first game I have memory of playing. Things. Also, like most of the Lego Nintendo sets, it's almost all prints, except for these two stickers, which is fine, because, this is, Like, these are the stickers for the actual cartridges, which would have been stickers in real life anyway, so it makes sense. Okay, 2, 5, 4, 3, 1, and then extra piece. Put those down there. Game Boy! Let's go. Thank you for selecting Lego Game Boy. What the... Caution! Clicking the power switch may result in acute feelings of nostalgia. Yeah, okay, buddy. Insert to continue. This authentic LEGO Game Boy has been constructed using the finest materials to appeal to you, the discerning retro gamer, in the full 1989 experience. Insert the game pack cartridge with and realistic lenticular screen, and ignore the repeated calls to come downstairs to your dinner. Okay. How do you do, fellow gamers? Okay, we got... Oh, right, because we also... They have you build up the inside in a way that's at least somewhat... somewhat representative of the actual internals of the console, and not just a randomly colored brick, you know? And that even includes the cartridges, with the Zelda one having a battery backup and the Mario one not. What is this? I love watching people use the power switch. When they feel that snap, it always takes them back to the Game Boy realm. LEGO Game Boy lead designer Carl Merriam. Okay. Okay, buddy. Super Mario Land! That's another thing I wanted to say. Heckin'... I know I've talked about these, like, presentation streams / like, I don't know, video essay type things that I want to do at some point, and I just haven't found the time to do it. When I do end up doing those, I want to do one on Super Mario Land, and how this fucking box art and the fact that the first world is the desert world has deluded people into thinking that Sarasa Land is a desert kingdom, and not just, you know, the first world is desert. And it doesn't help. It doesn't help that Nintendo themselves have fallen into this trap as well. What with Mario Kart World. And then we also have Link's Awakening, which I did not own, at least not legitimately. I think I had a boot... Or did I actually? I know that one of my bootleg cartridges had the Oracle games. I don't know if we had Link's Awakening on there as well. Oh, we're getting another brick separator, let's go! Alright, so... we start... with bag 1. Look at that brick separator. Yeah, baby! And also the extra piece bag. Which has the lenticular screens in it, as well as these... the back of the Game Boy and this. Which, if we move these around, see there's the intro, well, when you switch the console on, the Nintendo logo drops down. And you have Super Mario Land. Mario getting that star. And Link and Marin on the beach in Link's Awakening. That's neat! Neat as hell. I assume the reason we're unpacking these now is because we're going to store the ones that we're not using inside whatever it is that we're currently building. And that's why it only points out 2 of them and not all 3. Okay, this... I have never seen this piece before. 1x4 with hollow studs and a cut out the middle. What is this even used for? I've never seen this. Also, it was sunny, like it is still kind of sunny, but the clouds are starting to roll in, so if it gets a bit too dark, I might need to turn the lights on. Because I'm building with black at the moment. You can't really see shit. Ah, yeah, so this is where we're slotting the cartridges that we're not using. There we go. And then these two on here. And then some studs. Not sure why we went with 4 studs and not like 2 1x2s, but okay. If you say so. And then we plop this up so we can store our spare game screens inside the back there. Oh, now we're building one of the cartridges. I don't know if it's both. I don't think we have enough pieces here for both. So maybe we're just building Super Mario Land first. Start with this one. Maybe I should be holding it up to the camera like I used to. Instead of doing it down there where you can't even really see what I'm doing. There we go. And now... starting to build the... Oh, so this is like the connector, I guess, at the bottom of the cartridge? Question mark? We'll see, we'll see. We're still building it up. And that connects onto our base here. Gotta remember, like I'm looking down at my hands instead of looking up at the screen so I can see, like, what y'all are seeing, you know? This goes on here. Oh, I'm supposed to have built this up separately and then attached it, but oh well. Interesting that they used a different shade of green here. It's been a while since I've looked at any PCBs, so like... or like just circuit boards in general. So like, I don't know if that's actually reflective of something or not. Step 9. Not the most secure connection, but I assume we're probably going to join it from the back as well. Or we're just going to completely cover up everything we just built. That works too. Because, like, yeah, they have you build up the inside, but then also it's just sort of... It's a fun little secret for the builders. Everyone else, they don't get to see it unless you, like, pry it apart, but, like, this is all one solid piece, and there's not, like, flat things on there so you can take it off easy. Anyway, I'm going to... Oh, that's an ad, that's an ad, that's an ad. Okay, well, we'll have to find a different compilation then. How about this one? Does that... That one does not start with an ad. Alright, I'm going to take this off camera so that I can apply the sticker to it. It looks like we want to apply it towards the top of the piece. That's actually pretty good. What do you think? Then we put the cartridge topper, what's it? Tile. That's what it's called. Right, then the long ones along the sides. Ah yeah, that's what we were doing here. You can see, like, that's, I guess, the bottom of the cartridge where the connectors would be sticking out or whatever. Hey, that's Pokemon. I know that one. Oh, it's not supposed to go right in the middle, by the looks of it, no. Because, yeah, they did have a notch out of the corner, didn't they? So we want to put it there, so you can still see the notch in the corner. Spare parts from bag 1. 2 little studs. And this also allows it to connect onto the base like that. Whichever one you're not using. Bag 2. And these. Just making sure there's nothing still in it before I toss it away. Alright, now we're actually building the Game Boy itself. That's Tetris. Tetris B type. Or type B. Oh, also... brick separator. Forgot to make note of that. Alright, let's get started. Do I still have any of my Game Boy games? I don't think I do. I do still have some Game Boy Advance games. Which I don't think I can play, actually. Because I don't know if I still have my... I probably don't. Hold on, I kind of want to check now. Give me one sec. No. I have a 3DS and a DSi. I don't believe I still have a DS Lite. And as a result, I cannot play my Game Boy Advance games. Not that I have particularly many, mind you. But, yeah, the ones I do have, I cannot play. Kind of a shame. Not like I really have time for them, though. Using a lot of these. These double jumpers. Yeah, and then just stick them all over it. This doesn't feel like a particularly secure connection. I assume we're going to do something about that afterwards. Okay, this one I don't recognize. Pop that underneath. And then put even more on. How many do we need? 9. 1, 2... Be quicker if we just find them all first. 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. That's balloon fight. Or is it? That sounded like balloon fight to start with, but now I'm not so sure. Maybe the Game Boy version of Balloon Fight had a different soundtrack than the NES version? Does this have timestamps? It does. Oh, this is Balloon Kid. Cool. Also, the previous one was... Oh, Mario Land 2. I never played Mario Land 2. Only the original one. Apparently, Mario Land 2 is just, like, significantly better than the original. But I have nostalgia for the original, so I don't really care. Do not like how loose that is. But, like, that's how they told me to build it. We'll just have to wait till something comes to connect those better. Alright, 10 grill pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These go across all these. And then we need another 10 to fill in the middle. Okay. Is this like for aeration at the back? Maybe? Like the fan inside and it blows out of those. That's Kirby. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where's the last one? 10. So these only go one stud on. So they can line up like so. You know, with me streaming less often, I was thinking, like I don't really want to be playing games that are super long. So, like, I'm playing Pokopia at the moment, and we're making good work of that. And then after that, I was going to play Donkey Kong. And then I also had Pokemon Legends ZA. But I was like, that's an RPG. That's gonna take so heckin' long. Maybe I'd be better off, like, playing that on my own time instead of trying to stream it. But then I'm like, bro, when am I gonna have time to play it on my own time? I got Rhythm Heaven to play on my own time, and I still haven't touched that. I forget, like, how high I'm supposed to hold it to have it, like, properly in view of the camera. So that you can actually see what I'm doing. Alright. Take one of these. One of these. One of these. And one of these. Not sure why they made them different colors, but oh well. Doesn't really matter. It's probably gonna get covered up anyway. Oh, this is like the side of the Game Boy, I guess. Right? Another thing we put aside? We're just building up pieces. Start with one of these. Then I think that's the right size. We'll soon find out, I suppose. Then this is this one, and this one. There we go. That. Ah, like this. That's definitely one of the Game Boy Zeldas. Not sure which one, but it's one of them. The problem with that, like, somehow they messed up the timestamps, and so it doesn't actually show it on the video itself, and I have to scroll down to the description, and that spoils me on what's coming up. This is 1248. Oracle of Ages. Yeah, I played that on a bootleg, like, 48-in-1 cartridge. Though that was also the cartridge that ended up breaking because I guess, like, well, we had this when my brother and I were very young, and I think he, like, got upset, from what I remember, that, like, I wanted to play it while he was, like, going to have a shower, and so he, like, threw it at me, hit the ground, broke open. Still worked most of the time, but, like, any of the games that, like, actually needed to save, they could not save anymore. And, like, half the time, if you tried to boot them up, they just wouldn't work. That was also, like, I think the first Pokemon game I owned. That specific, cartridge had, like, a bootleg translation of, Pokemon Green. Specifically Green. Which is how I know it's a bootleg translation. Because that one never came out in English. Is that right? Yep, that's right. Want another one of these? They're making use of these a lot. for like offset both on top and bottom, because like the whatever these are, they can fit inside the hollow studs, which allow you to place them even not offset. Words. Then we flip it back upright and put another one on top. Also, this is Pokemon TCG for the Game Boy. I actually own that game. I should... Wait, do I own that? Maybe I... No, I don't actually. I have it on Nintendo Switch Online. I'm pretty sure. Oh, they want us to put it on first. I guess that'd be easier. Kind of wish there were more games like this one. It kind of... Like, recently, it kind of feels like most online... Well, not even online, just... Most TCG video games these days are just like battle sims. It's just like, hey, you want to play the game, but as like... in virtual instead of on a physical with physical cards. Here you go. And I'm like, no, I want like a game that incorporates the card game into its world, like the older Yu-Gi-Oh video games. Well, like, yeah, you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, but there's a whole world built around it. You're not just playing the card game. And, like, the same thing was done with this one, the Pokemon TCG. Nowadays, the only Pokemon TCG games you get are just like, hey, play the trading card game. Or, hey, play a stripped-down, simplified version of the trading card game. And that's it. That's all you get. No trading card game RPGs. None of that. No one wants that. I want that. There we go. Now that's going to be connected a bit more sturdy. Sturdy-like. We're building up the back of the Game Boy. Oh, now we need this here because we are building up the internal circuitry. And here, too, you can see it's got like a sparkle on it. They're shiny. I think they're... I don't know if it's official, but I believe these are usually described as like pearl gold. I don't know official LEGO color names. Not properly lined up, but it's close enough. And one of these in here. I think... I don't know, it is kind of fun that they have you actually build up the circuitry on the inside, but like, then it gets covered up and there's no way to actually see it. And it's not just a matter of like, oh, like, if you try to take it apart, unless you're like very carefully only removing like a top layer or whatever, you're going to take apart the circuitry anyway if you try to take the build apart to show it. And so like, well, what's... It enhances the building experience for sure, but it's also sort of like, you could have just put like a massive brick in there and no one would know, and from the outside no one would know the difference. I guess it's supposed to be an appeal to nostalgia or whatever. Like, yeah, you may not see it, but when you're building it, you'll go, oh, remember that? Oh, it's just like a real Game Boy. Whoa. I'm being such an asshole right now for no reason. Like, I do think it's cool. It's just also, like, that's a lot of effort for something you're not even going to see. It just feels a little odd. That's all. Is that everything on this page? I think so. So, yeah, it lines up all the way up there. More circuitry. And then yellow ones. I don't know enough about the internal mechanisms of the Game Boy to know what all of these bits and bobs represent. But I assume it's something, otherwise they wouldn't have bothered, you know, putting these here in the first place. Because it's certainly not just for the looks of the final model. As I said, you're not going to see them on the final model. And this goes... That does not... There. Cross one. So that it all lines up. Nice. I was wondering why we used a curved one here, just had it floating, but now it makes sense. It all lines up perfectly. Alright, now we need one of these. Not one of these, we need one of these. Similar piece, but the studs are going a different way. That on there. That on there. Huh? Oh, that's... I was like, we don't have one of these pieces, but no, that's this. Turned on its side. With one of these attached to the bottom. And this... slots in here. In order to, like, close up this gap, I guess. Yeah. Alright. Now we take one of these. Sorry if my commentary is not particularly enthralling. I've forgotten how to do commentary for LEGO videos. I don't really have much to talk about. Alright, I'm gonna straighten that off camera. In terms of, like, what's going on in my life, what's going on for future projects, I've just been surviving. Just been doing my best to exist. Then, the panhandle goes in the hole there. There we go. And do we do another one at the other side? We do. We just flip it around. We flip it turnways. Did I? No, that is right. You are supposed to see the underside. Thought I did it upside down for a sec. Slipped out of my hand. Oh, I should have my heckin' stream manager open so I can see when the ad's coming up. You dingus. I opened it, but I didn't have the tab active. Now that's Pokemon. I definitely said this last time, but I wanna like Lego Pokemon, but they're just not, it's just not doing it for me. It's all either Smart Play stuff or stuff that's like well outside of my budget for what's on offer, you know? Oh, that's the end of that bag. Spare parts from bag 2. Some more studs. A gold stud. And a red panhandle. Bag 3 time! Now the only piece from the extra bag that we still have left is the, this one. Ah! The tire tried to get away. Tire. That flew farther than I thought it would. I tossed the bag and it ended up in my kitchen. Oh, right. They pack the rubber bands in these little boxes so that they don't get lost. We have 2 mini bags this time. I feel like I've heard this one before. That 27. I have not. This is from Wario Land. Not sure why I thought I had heard that before. Maybe it's similar to something that I've heard. Right, and then we put these sticks into the holes. I assume that's going to be used so that we can, like... This is our technique for letting us build a smooth side here and then a smooth side on the front and joining them together. Without, you know, having the studs being, you know, connected. Oh, we got the 1x5s. The weird piece that it took, like, ages for LEGO to introduce. Ah, there it is. I assume this is more circuitry, solely because we used a green piece. And we want one of these. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. And one of these. Not sure why we're using this curvy bit, but sure. And panhandle with a rub. Oh! This is probably for the controls. Because something I did see in reviews is that, like, the Obviously, they don't work as, like, an actual controller, but, like, they do... You can, like, press the buttons and stuff, and that's why they have these rubber pieces inside. So I guess that's what we're building at the moment. Is that... I don't think that's correct. Right, we were supposed to turn it. My bad. Is that? I did not turn it the right way. I think. Yeah, it's this way that it goes on. That's Donkey Kong. Probably Donkey Kong Land. Not gonna bother checking. I am looking forward to playing Bonanza once I'm done with Pokopia. I'll be honest, I was, like, sort of interested in it. Like, it was like, yeah, I'm not super urgently wanting to get it, but it seems neat. I'll get it eventually. But the music... The more I heard that one theme they used in, like, the Direct or whatever, the more I was like, okay, I gotta get this game. Good music goes a long way towards getting me to want to play a game. It happened with Donkey Kong, it happened with ARMS, it happened with Sushi Striker. Sushi Striker's real good, by the way. And they, like, left off on a... Actually, I'm... Like, the main story leaves off on a cliffhanger, but I'm not sure if that's, like... Because there is a bonus thing afterwards, and I don't know if that leads into the proper conclusion. But as far as I'm aware, they just leave off on a cliffhanger and are like, yeah, good luck, have fun. This game's never getting a fucking sequel. You're never seeing the conclusion of this story. When are we getting ARMS 2? Game probably didn't sell well enough to warrant that, but like... I want to see more of the world of ARMS. So this... Ah, right, because we're seeing the top here. And this... How is this connecting? Or is it not supposed to connect yet and we're just placing it in there loose? Did I do something wrong? How does the... Because, like, it's showing it there, but, like, in mine I've got... This is in the wrong spot. It's supposed to be one further across, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that's probably not a good spot for the... Well, that works. Yeah, so it's just sort of sitting in there loose for the time being. But then, like, once we put the front of the shell on, it'll be, like, held in place. That sounds like a remix of a Pokemon song. Which spin-off is this from? Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, okay. Never played that one. I think that's like the Panel-Depon clone. Panel-Depon / Tetris Attack / Puzzle League. Alright, where... Oh, we're looking for the angle. The L. Then we want a shiny piece. This one. What other Game Boy memories do I have? I know we had Tetris. Everyone and their mother had Tetris. I didn't actually own any of the Game Boy Pokemon games. Like I said, I had a bootleg version of Pokemon Green. And then, like, my friend lent me their copy of Pokemon Silver. But it didn't have a battery backup. Well, the battery inside had died, and so it wasn't able to save. That was where I found my first shiny Pokemon, actually. Oh, that's an ad! Ah, screw it. We'll just mute it, and then once the ad's over, we'll resume with this one. It's good enough. It took us this long to get an ad. It's fine. Yeah, I found my first shiny Pokemon on a borrowed copy of Pokemon Silver that was incapable of saving. One of the earliest routes, too. It was a Hoot Hoot. Maybe one of these days I'll try and shiny hunt a Hoot Hoot just to get that shiny back. What other Game Boy games did I have? Oh. 2 wedges. I didn't even know they could print on the side of wedges. But like, there's the label for the select button. That's unprinted. And there's the label for the start button. Alright, so start goes on this side. Select goes on this side. Add in like 8 minutes. There's like no one here, so I'll probably just keep going regardless. Instead of taking a break like I normally do during the gaming ones. Oh, and then this attaches on here. It's fine. The people watching the VOD won't see an ad anyway. Then, on there. That's a nice snap sound. And then more angles. And a 1x4, which, there we are. Oh, the headphone jack. Remember when things had headphone jacks? I say as if both of my phones don't currently still have headphone jacks. And all of my game consoles don't currently have headphone jacks. Maybe that just shows that I'm not on the cutting edge of technology. Because my shit still has headphone jacks. Either that or the removing the headphone jack craze has died down, and they've gone back to having those because they realized, you know, it's a useful thing to have. Not everyone wants to have wireless shit. Wireless shit's useful sometimes. I use wireless I'm using wireless headphones right now. But that's just so that the cord doesn't get in the way while I'm, like, moving around and shit. And originally my PC was much further from where my head is. So using wireless headphones just made things easier. Where does this slot in? Ah. Our first peg is going in the hole. There we go. And is that? Yeah, that's already holding this down. By virtue of something being on top of it. There's our headphone jack, which... I believe that we're going to build a stand, and the stand goes in the headphone jack to hold it up. Which I think is pretty neat. Because, like, it needed some way of attaching to the stand, but they didn't want to... you know, insert a piece that, like, they didn't want to... Bruh. They waited so long before putting any ads, and now we've got a bunch in a row. If we get another ad after this, I'm gonna look for another one. They do this big old compilation, like, yeah, there's no ads on here, don't worry about it. And then half an hour in, or an hour in, how long has it been since I started this up? All of a sudden there's ads. I think half an hour, yeah, 40 minutes. If we get another ad by, like, the 50-minute mark, I'm just gonna look for another one. Melody, why don't you have an ad blocker? I couldn't be bothered. My antivirus already blocks most of the egregious ones. And I know YouTube has, like, a war on ad blockers. I don't want to have to deal with that shit. No, on top of here. No? Hold on, let me... Oh, over this side, and plugging into the hole there. There we go. More plugs in the pegs. Now the red, I'm not sure, is supposed to be representative of circuitry. This part might just be for show. So you can see what you're building. And more slopes. This is the other side of the buttons. Like so. Here we need one of these, and one of these. Touches on here, I think. That looks right. We'll soon find out if it's not. I need to get these pieces out from underneath my microphone. It sits a little close. So that, you know, it can actually hear me properly. Because, you know, I'm not a particularly loud person. There's the piece we're looking for. Add in like 1.5 minutes. Not that it really matters. Get on there. This goes in here. No? Oh yeah, that does fit. Didn't seem like it would for a bit. And then the Nintendo Game Boy logo tile. On it goes. Oh, we're building the D-pad. Behold, D-pad. Ad starting soon. If anyone's here and my viewer count on my phone is just off for some reason, I'll see y'all after the ad. But I'm just gonna keep building anyway. Don't feel like taking a break right now. That sounds familiar. What is that? Why do all these Wario Land songs sound familiar? I've never played Wario Land. Right, so this isn't actually connected. It just sort of sits on top of here, I think. Like so. But that makes it a bit awkward at the moment. Because it's just sort of floating around. But now, we're placing these so that it locks that bottom round plate into place. This one. There we go. There we go. Doesn't really have a central pivot. You can just push the entire thing down at once, but you know, it works. Alright, now we gotta make the A and B buttons. Sorry. I'm a bit tired. I woke up at like 3 this morning and had to try and get back to sleep. I did succeed, but I'm still a bit eepy. Right, now, these, the actual buttons. So these pieces, the bits that actually are going to be visible as the buttons, I'm pretty sure these are a minifigure, like, hat of some description. If I remember the review I saw right, they were originally used for, like, a wizard book character. The wizard book that I don't like talking about. But I'm going to ignore that and say, oh, these are Game Boy button pieces that also coincidentally work as minifigure hats. Wait, is that? Okay, so that's how we do it. We plop them in, and then we have to attach it from the other side. I didn't realize there was a thing in the middle that stops it going all the way through. There we go. It is slightly slanted. It's not a perfectly flat top. Which, like, you look at it and it doesn't look slanted from here. Maybe it does a little, but I think it's because the inside is like, the stud's a little off kilter. But, like, it's close enough that you're probably not going to notice. Probably. That sounds like Kirby. And then... Are these going to be grabbing onto something? Ah, that's one. Okay, there's another ad. God damn it. Okay, let's try and find another one. There's Game Boy Advance music. This one didn't start with an ad, so we'll go with this for now. Okay, so then we need one on the other side, like this. I specifically want Game Boy music for today's stream. So, like... The fact that these Game Boy ones have ads where the ones I usually use don't is annoying. There we go. We'll just use this until an ad shows up. This one I can't really play along because the box art shows up on screen. Unless I hide the window, but I need the window open so I can quickly pause it if an ad shows up. Bit of hair got caught in there. That is not properly aligned. And then we stretch the rubber band around these so that they stick up. That looks so misaligned. Did I do something wrong? Doesn't feel like this as springy as they should be. Then we need the one with the A button on it. The A label, rather. Just pressing them down to make sure, yeah, the weird slant is part of the piece and not a building error. Hopefully it won't be too visible on the final build. One of these at the bottom. Then we push this in... Oh no. in there. There we go. Now we got to build up the corner. Starting with this. Man, I really can't remember like any other Game Boy games I actually owned. There's like Super Mario Land, Tetris, and then a couple bootleg cartridges with like 48 in one and 128 in one. And I think most of my Game Boy memories come from that like bootleg cartridge. Come from those bootleg cartridges, rather. It's like, hold on. You want more gold studs? I don't see any more gold studs. It's because they're hiding. Then this slots into here with the speaker and the B button label. Ow. I'm trying to straighten it and put my thumb right down on the corner of the piece. I just realized we don't have a little progress marker at the bottom like we usually do. What's up with that? Ah, so this side connects to the actual studs, and then this side connects to the little peg we put on. There we go. There we go. And these attach on there for our corner. Does bother me a little that this corner you can see all the stud holes, and then this one, some of them, there's no holes, but you know, close enough. Close as you can get with this, really, I guess. Then cover that up. We still have 3 more bags. I guess one of them is going to be like one of the other cartridges. And then we push the tires in here to serve as our start and select buttons. Because the friction of the rubber is just going to hold them in. It's neat! I like it. Here are our spare parts from bag 3. We got an extra tire. I dropped one of them. There we go. Bag 4, and we're using our last lenticular screen. So we're going to be building the actual screen of the Game Boy. Wow, okay, they didn't put the glass piece for the screen in a separate bag, huh? I don't know if you can see that. But there does appear to be some markings on it that, like, oh, you can see it there. See that? I'm not sure if that's a scratch or if that's... Let me see if I can wipe it off. Nope. It just came pre-scratched, I guess. I guess that's something I'm gonna have to mention in my review. That's Kirby, obviously. Didn't think that was worth mentioning. Alright. We gotta build up a thingy to hold the screen in. Which pile is this piece in? There we are. It's real cloudy now. I'm gonna see if it looks any better with the lights on. Or maybe it'd be better with the kitchen light, since that's from the side. That way I'm not, like, blocking the light with my body. That's probably fine. Alright, we need this, this, this. Nope. This. Ingot. And this one. There we go. We have our screen holder arm that clicks into the red one. So this like holds the this. It holds the this up against the this. Still don't like that. The piece is scratched, but maybe it won't be too visible on the final build. You just gotta, like, not look too close, I guess. Really racking my head over, like, did I really not have any other, like, big Game Boy titles? Because I know I had a decent chunk of Game Boy Advance titles. I still have some of those cartridges. Like I mentioned, which was why I went off to check if my, if I still had a DS Lite. I might still do, and it's just, like, somewhere hidden away that I don't know where. Is the correct orientation? Yes. The power slider. Power switch. Whatever. Dot matrix with stereo. Sound. I wonder why they split it across 2 tiles. Oh, probably just because, like... Yeah, they probably don't make a tile of this specific length. So they needed to split it somewhere, and splitting it in between 2 words was probably the easiest way to do it. So that they're not having to, like, try and line up the edges of the stripes. Then upside down, we put one of these. In that goes, and... I guess this is the satisfying click they were talking about. When flicking the power switch. Now sub-build within a sub-build. hope the volume levels are okay. I didn't actually check them prior to starting the stream. Another stud reversal technique. So that we have studs on both sides. Not that one, the other way around. This one. And tile goes in there. There we go. Then in two different colors for some reason. Wonder if that's going to be used for anything. Or whether if they're just doing it for the sake of it. We'll see. Oh! It's so that it lines up with the colors here. Clever. They know what they're doing. I clearly don't. Then this attaches like this? Is that right? Where does this attach? Oh, I missed a step. There's supposed to be more on top of here. I missed multiple steps. It's supposed to be that, and then there's supposed to be another one, but I don't see the other. Oh, there it is. And then these attach here. These attach here, and then we put another bit on top with the tiles. Sorry if anything picked up on the mic there. I was trying to move the pieces out and I hit the mic cord. And now that should slot in correctly. There we go. Hooray. Screen time. With our fucking scratched ass screen. Don't think it matters which side goes front. Heck! I'm gonna scratch it more myself if that keeps up. Heck! There we go. It's on. Oh, that's why we have a curved thing. Because there's a curve at the bottom of the screen. It's like, I don't remember having a thing at the top, but no, it goes that way. Because it's wider than it is long, you silly. Alright, now this one we do have to pay attention to where everything's going and what orientation it's in. Best music from the Game Boy, 100 songs, and they put a song from fucking Ghostbusters 2. Have the battery icon. There we go. And we use these two to plug the gap. Or at least plug it enough to not be noticeable. Because that is not fully aligned. Oh, I wasn't even on screen when I was tapping it. Oh, but the missing half plate is made up by this. Clever. How? Huh? Huh? How does this? Did I use the wrong piece somewhere? Oh, I put this the wrong way around. It's supposed to fit into these studs. I'm smart. That's really the only spot it's connected, huh? Okay. This is a pretty hefty piece. It's like solid. Alright, this one I'm gonna do on the table instead of holding up, since it's the whole heckin'... Ooh. I've got our wheel. One of them, at least. Ta-da! Wheel. That goes in... Ah! Okay. I need to be more careful. Because it's only joined right there. There we go. It's in. Get out from under the booklet. Then contrast is what this is, not volume. Doesn't fully line up, but like it's close enough, I guess. Hey, Tetris. I'm surprised we haven't seen like a Tetris Lego set yet. I've seen multiple go up on Lego Ideas, but Lego just never went for it. You'd think it'd be a real easy thing for them to do. Like, it's bricks. How hard could it be? Alright, other side. Come on. I guess that's another one they didn't have the license for. So they couldn't put that in this set, even though It's one that, like, everyone associates with the Game Boy. There, now the screen's a bit more securely connected in there. And this one's the volume slider. We have the Ext connector. Is that where the link cable goes? Oh yeah, we haven't used these before. I'm like, hold on, why do we have these two spare pieces? Have we not used these pieces before? In earlier bags? And the answer is no. In the earlier bags we used them in a lighter color. But those are the spare pieces. Ah, so you take the back plate off so that you can slot these in. I'm doing that off camera. Oops. Then you put that up so that it stays in. And wrong way around. Pop the back plate. Battery plate. The back plate where the batteries would go in, I think. Ta-da! Nintendo! Leaning to the side so that the reflection doesn't pick up me. Alright. Bag. Oh, it was only 5 bags. Why did I think it was 6? Final bag is going to be the stand and the second cartridge. No second smaller bag in this one. What the fuck? Maybe I don't know the library of the Game Boy as well as I do, because why is a game called fucking Fortified Zone in a Best Music from the Game Boy compilation? Bruh? Alright. These I'm just going to put on the table instead of holding it up because it's black and shiny, and if you know my history with black and shiny pieces, you know that I have in the past accidentally shown my face because of these. I'd rather not do that. Ah, and there's the... This goes into the headphone jack like that. It's neat. I like the way they do things. I want to have another go at, like, designing Lego sets in, like, what's it called? Bricklink Studio. But, like, I don't have the time. There we go. It now sits in its little stand. Now, the final cartridge. I'm making Link's Awakening. Part of me is going... Oh, that's not where it goes. Part of me is going like, oh, we have time. Maybe I can make that other... That like, cake set I got for my birthday. But then I remember what happened last time I did a Lego building stream, and I ended up going over time in order to make that, what's it called? Pokemon Center. I'm just like, yeah, maybe not, actually. Maybe not. Maybe we'll save that for another time. We'll see how I feel. Because I did start a bit late. Might be better saved for for when I'm feeling a bit better. This on here. This on here. And then more nondescript circuitry. It is a shame that, like, they do have all these internal components, even to the point of including the battery that Link's Awakening would have required in order to, you know, save the game. But there's no tooltips anywhere on the pages to explain what all this stuff, all this internal stuff you're building is, like they do with the botanicals. I feel like that would have been a cool detail, you know? Let us learn a bit about the history of what we're building, rather than just nostalgia for the sake of nostalgia. Anyway, there's the internals of our cartridge. Now we will never see it again. Alright, I will take it off camera in order to apply the sticker. It's a little crooked, but like, you can't really tell. Right? That looks fine. Probably. As long as you don't look too close. Was that an air bubble? Did something get under the sticker? Hold on. Can I still peel this off without damaging the sticker? There we go. A little damage on the corner, but now it's actually flat and there's not a bit of dirt or something hiding underneath it. There we go. There's our second cartridge. There's our last two spare parts. Don't even know where we used those. Ah, here. And here. Right? Here. And these go inside. Ah, that's what the clips in there are for. They clip onto this. Push it down until you hear a click. And there you go. We have our Lego Game Boy. Yay! Alright, I will need to leave a review about that scratched screen later. But for now, we have our things. And it's cool as hell. Let me put that down. And I think with the time we have left, we'll just build the poly bag. It's tiny, but like, yeah. We'll leave the birthday cake for another time. Maybe it'll just sit there until next year, and then I'll build it on my actual birthday. This looks like it should tear because it's like perforated along the line, but it's... There we go. Paper poly bag. Wild. Do they sell stuff in paper bags at the store, or is this like solely a gift with purchase thing? Anyway, Tom Nook and flying present. Where did that piece go? A piece went behind... There it is. Been a while since I had a set so small that we get an instruction leaflet instead of a booklet. I'm not going to be able to show the whole thing on camera. But first, Tom Nook minifig! Let's go, I don't need to buy a separate set that contains Tom Nook. And his tail looks more like a foxtail piece than a actual tanuki tail, but I guess they didn't want to... Like, they're already having to create pieces for all the different Animal Crossing villager heads. They didn't want to have to do all of the tails as well, so... We just get Tom Nook with a foxtail instead of a tanuki tail. Is there anything on the back, or is it... Oh, there's a little on the back. Tom Nook, you sit over there. Alright, let's build up this here. Oh, and we get a little fossil. I think that might be my first fossil tile. Because I've had other Animal Crossing sets, but I don't think they had a fossil in them. Oh yeah, it had a bell instead under the rock, instead of a fossil. Alright, so we need... flower on flower. Flower on flower. Flower on flower. And these go on the flower stem. I don't know which Animal Crossing flower this is supposed to represent. I don't really play Animal Crossing these days. I did as a kid. I played Wild World quite a bit. And a little bit of New Leaf. Not as much. And then I completely fell off of it by the time New Horizons showed up. It's just not the kind of game I can get into these days. Tomodachi Life's different. I have, to an extent, been thinking like, man, I fucking love Tomodachi Life. Why can I get into Tomodachi Life when I can't get into things like Animal Crossing? And I think it comes down to, like, most of the time, I'm not even playing Tomodachi Life. I'm just watching my Miis do their little things. Just watching them go about their days, and then, like, occasionally helping out when they need me. Oh, and we get a recipe card tile. So, like, I've described it as less of a, less of a game and more of an ant farm. You just sit there and watch. You do have more control than the original, well, I say original, it was actually the second game in the series, but the Tomodachi Life on 3DS, you have more control than that, but it's still... Ah, we put it on already in this step. It's still just a bit of an ant farm, and I like that about it. I think I brushed the mic. Sorry about that. Oh, we get bells as well, and because they're small pieces, we get spares. Sick. I still, like, I have a huge bag of spare pieces. I have used very few of them. Maybe even none. I think I used some of them to add an extra, like, little turtle to the Minecraft turtle house, because it's made of, like, 2 parts that you get spares of. So you can just, like, make an extra if you want, which I did. But aside from that, I think my spare pieces just sort of sit there unused in their bags. But that's fine. Then we attach this here so it can be floating. And then we give Tom Nook his bell. And not even supposed to be on there, but I'll put him on. Maybe at like an angle. There we go. A little polybag set that I got as a bonus. Just because I bought the, I bought the Game Boy when I did. So we have a handful of more spare pieces because of that. Including 2 printed tiles. And then add those from the Game Boy, and these are our spare pieces from today's builds. Heck! Let me get my spare parts bag. In they go. I might use like one of these to join this onto one of the Animal Crossing builds. So it's not just floating by itself, but we'll see. I am glad that I have a Tom Nook now, though. Anyway, let me plop these down so y'all can see them. There's our builds for today. Hooray! And I think we are going to end. I'm not going to do the extra one on top. I need to, like, lay down or something. Let me pause that, turn desktop audio off, and we'll put my usual BGM back on. Thank you for watching. I had fun. Hopefully, streams will get a bit consistent again. But it's not going to be consistently twice a week. It's probably going to be consistently once a week. On Sundays, probably. Just because, like, Saturday I'm still sort of recuperating after the week. Hopefully, we'll eventually get back to a point where, like, my brain is in the right space and I'm, you know, feeling energized and not sleeping like absolute garbage. And at that point, we'll probably get back to twice a week. Alternatively, I could just end up using that extra time to do other projects, which I think would be fine. You know, I might not be streaming as often, but I'm still making things. Because right now, I'm not even at that point. I'm at a point where, like, yeah, I'm taking the time away from streaming, but I'm not really doing anything with it. I'm just sort of resting. So we're going to try and keep to a consistent once a week. Oops. We're going to try and keep to a consistent once a week, and then once I'm feeling better, we'll see if I want to use that for streaming again, or if I want to use it for other things. We'll see. Anyway, there is no one here, but we'll see if there's anyone that I really want to raid. There is not. The person I was thinking of raiding ended their stream a while ago, I guess. So I guess we'll probably just end. Tom Nook can do it for me this time. Let me get my mouse ready first. Thanks for watching. Otsukame. Bye bye and scene.